Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Wallaby Racing League's second episode of our Friday night wrap-ups, where we discuss everything that has happened over the last two races in Canada for Sunday's League and Tuesday's League. We talk about new faces on the podium. We talk about heartbreaks of DNFs that we may have seen. We talk about incidents. We talk about rivalries. We talk about it all. As per usual, I'm joined by the entire comms team. So tonight with me, I have my commentary partner, Evil Blade.
Evening, everybody.
Hello, Evil. And I'm also joined by the two guys from Tuesday night's commentary team, Gumbo Kebab and the one and only Kirko.
The much younger Gumbo Kebab, you mean? This way.
Now, guys, I hope you both have your cornettos ready, because I think some of the topics tonight are going to get a little bit spicy, and that dairy might be needed to cool down your mouths. So let's kick into it. First things first, before we get on to all the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight, how did you guys fare in your races? Don't all jump at once. You finished in the points though, didn't you? P11. So you had to make a wander down track and ask other people for wings, I'm guessing. Okay, and what about yourself, Gumbo? How did you fare, mate?
Well, I ended up finishing right. Quali was a bust for me. I've done a hot lap and out lap, and managed to put it into the wall on the straight. So I started at the very, very back of the pack. But
include your audio,
Just quickly, have you guys included your audio?
Include your audio, Dan?
I have.
Nobody can hear you guys for some reason. No, don't worry. Driver 48 says never mind. Thank you very much for that, driver. Sorry, keep going. Go on there, Gumbo.
You can hear me or no?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay. So I managed to win P5, which I was pretty happy with. Unlucky for my teammate who had a few pens and got knocked back a bit, but we got 5th and 6th, which was good points for Alpha for the El Captain Evil Blade.
And Bladey, what about yourself? How did you go?
I finished the race in 6th. After it was a bit weird, but still wasn't too bad.
I think our Tuesday night was probably the lesser. Probably the more evil of the two leagues.
Yeah,
I think we had a lot more safety cars, but there was issues everywhere on track.
There was.
I mean, Sunday didn't have a wet track as we did, but we digress. We move on. Next race, whatever. Except, but that's not what we're doing. We're going to be going over all of the issues, like I said, from Sunday and Tuesday's races. So we'll start off with Sunday. P1, Andy H. P2, Car Gamer, and P3, Jack Sully. Jack Sully was the driver of the day, and I'll get into that shortly because something has come to our attention that I think needs to be brought up, but we'll get into that. And Car Gamer, like I said, back to P2. Andy H. Picking up the P1, his first victory of the season, putting him now into outright first position for the Sunday Drivers' Championship.
Damn Ferrari.
And then going into exactly what I was about to say, going into the constructors, that puts the Ferraris with a bit of a lead with 118 points, followed by Red Bull on 96, and then McLaren, the two boys in the papaya, bringing it up to 92 points. So there's not much in it between those three. But, guys, watching Sunday race, was there much that stood out to you guys personally that you think needs to be brought up, or anything that you thought was a bit of a surprise?
Not
Well, Gumbo started in grid 16, bumped it right up to P5. So
I'm glad you brought that up because that leads me into the Jack Sully driver of the day
yeah, I don't.
controversy, I guess we could call it.
I couldn't say Jack Sally was driver of the day. He went from grid 5 only to P3. He only made 2 positions. I mean, Gumbo Kebab P16. Oh, sorry, grid 16 up into P5. Like that's got to be driver of the day right there for me.
Yeah, well, that's that. Yeah, I completely agree. So, I don't know how the game worked out. Jack to be driver of the day. I know he had some issues, fell right to the back of the grid, and then fought his way back up to P3. But to P3. But I think the drive from going from P16 to P5.
Yeah,
is that
P5.
right?
Yeah,
P5 is a very, very pivotal drive, and I think that deserved a driver of the day
And
in
that
my books.
and that puts the Alfa Romeos in 5 and 6. So that's great points for the Alfa Romeo right there.
Absolutely. So, I think Alfa Romeo had actually a fairly decent haul of points across the board this week. Looking at Tuesdays, they're sitting in P3 currently, but we'll get to Tuesdays shortly. But what about Gumbo? Anything from you, mate? Anything from Sunday? You weren't the commentator, as a driver. Anything that you spotted or?
Well, look, we're going to get to Tuesday soon as well, but I feel like the level of driving on Sunday night was really good. I mean, there was a few incidents, and like I put a report in myself, and but nothing extravagant, if that makes sense. So I feel like
Yeah.
all the boys from Sunday should be proud of themselves because it was relatively clean, and that's what we really want, like to make good racing, and it ended up being a good race in the end. And hats off to Andy. Like Andy's he's electric, mate. He's fast.
He was dominant. He really
Yeah.
was. And we might talk about Andy for a little bit actually, because starting in P1, also getting the fastest lap, then taking out the top step of the podium. He got the trifecta. There really wasn't much for him to contend with. There was a little bit from J Rocket for probably, I think, 5 or 6 laps, maybe a few more. But it just seemed as though Andy was sitting back and just waiting and biding his time for Jay to make a mistake. And unfortunately, those mistakes did stack up with the penalties that he had.
Oh, 100%.
So
I even got caught out myself. Like you obviously don't know what is going to happen post race, and Pajala and Jack Sally ended up getting 5 seconds of penalties each, and due to me pushing, I copped a late 3-second pen at the end, which probably it cost me P4. But like, just getting into that, like, I don't really know where I'm going with that, to be honest with you. But yeah, like.
No, look, I agree. I mean,
we're going to go to Tuesday and talk about Tuesday again, but we're not there yet. So,
well, look, it brings me on to like Canada as a whole, with the penalties that you were talking about. Canada as a whole brings penalties, and then that brings more penalties, and then that brings more penalties, which you will see with a fair few of the drivers. They actually had racked up over 6 seconds worth of penalties. Only 2 drivers out of the 18 that we had starting on Sunday night finished with no pens, and one of those drivers, which was Jack Sully himself, had a 5-second penalty and served it in the pit. So that alone tells me that there was only one driver who legitimately had no penalties, and that was, again, the dominant driver of the night was Andy H. So, it's one of those tracks that we know as commentators, we know as drivers, penalties are going to follow.
Actually, I would also like to point out that at some point in my race, I actually lost my warnings guide. So I didn't know I was potentially cutting corners, and it just appeared. I'd just get, it just appear.
There is a glitch. we've been finding out about this glitch over probably a couple of weeks now. Some drivers are receiving the warning saying, your first warning, second warning, penalty, third warning, fourth warning, penalty, so on and so forth. But there are some drivers out there that are currently not receiving that sort of those warnings. So all of a sudden they get a penalty and they're like, "Whoa, where'd this come from? I haven't done anything wrong." But then they go back and have a look, and sure as hell they've cut corners or invalidated track limits. So.
Yeah,
Once again,
as I was
Tuesday.
saying, after sort of my first penalty, I sort of stayed a bit wider, and I didn't think I'd cut any corners, but all of a sudden it just showed up, and I didn't get a warning that I was that I cut that.
I'd actually like to give a bit of a shout out to War Machine. He actually got his first points for the season.
You beat me to it.
Oh. He DNF first 2 races, and then all of a sudden he's up there.
And good on him too.
Picked up 10 points.
Yeah, I feel like War Machine.
He was stoked.
But like last year, I feel like War Machine might have been a little quicker last year. He might have stepped off the mark a bit this year. But I think that's because he's doing his schooling now. And
his motorsports.
With his motorsports. And he's really involved in that. I'm not saying that he's slow. I'm just saying he's probably not spending as much time on the game as what he would have.
I would agree. I would agree in one way, and I would disagree in another. So I've seen him on some tracks where he is dominant. Austria being one of them. In Austria, he is so quick, it's not funny. I struggle to keep up with the kid. But then tracks like, the last 2 tracks we had, Spain and Bahrain, he just had issues left, right, and centre. And I think you're right. The motorsport school that he's at he loves it. He's having a ball there, and I'm so happy for him that he's found something that within the industry that he loves. But yeah, I think it's taking away from his practice time on F1, and I think we're starting to see the crumbling effect.
Since he's doing the motorsport industry and he's learning about V8 supercars and stuff, do we think he's overthinking the car setup for Formula 1 now? When he sets up his car?
Actually, that is a really good question. Actually,
you know what? I feel like we could probably get him on the show next week and we could ask him. What do you think, boys?
Let's do that. I think so. War Machine, next episode, Friday night, episode 3. What do you reckon?
Is he looking in too much into it rather than just driving his own style? He's learning things in a motorsport industry where there is proper race cars.
Yeah. Look, I think that's definitely the question we'll ask him. I think next week's episode could probably be the highest viewed episode of anything on Twitch ever, with War Machine coming into it. So let's bring him in.
100%.
Now, moving on to keeping on Sunday. Just one more thing I want to point out. We had a reserve driver who came and raced for us, and that was Kubistic. Now, everybody knows. Most people know Kubistic is bloody quick. In my opinion, could have rivaled Andy H. But he retired in pits without setting a lap.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe he was busy, or
could have been. I know, he was out on track. He was driving around, but every time he would go to start a banker lap, he'd pull into the pits and just sit there, and then drive back out again, pull back in, and then just retired in pits. So he was definitely on the game. I know it left Blade and I a bit stunned.
Yeah, maybe
very much so.
Maybe he was going for a 20.
His rig might have been playing up. Rig might have been playing up, and just couldn't sort it out.
Absolutely. So I think what we'll do, because again, Sunday there wasn't a lot to talk about. Tuesday is where most of the action happened. We're going to come to that. So what we're going to do, I'm going to play Sunday's highlights reel. There are a few things in there to keep an eye on, and then we'll join back here and we'll discuss our Tuesday happenings.
Oh,
good with that?
Yeah, I won't be in the highlights.
You'd be surprised.
5 lights. Currently dropping now, and it's away we... No. What's happening here? What has happened there?
Everybody's just... Oh my god. That is something beautiful.
Now guys, we've currently got a battle already ensuing here with Car Gamer and Sissy and Daff for Ps 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to bring up the telemetry and the lap data and position changes. So the big movers from this one: Sissy up 7 spots, Gumbo Kebab up 8 spots, Kirko up. Yes,
It's
yes,
very
okay,
frustrating, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
and he's been turned around.
Oh, it's been turned around. Piastri looks like he may have tapped in up the rear there and sent him going off in the chat.
No. It's
Oh, we've had a car around. Sissy has spun.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately for him, has dropped him down to two Mercedes boys fighting for a position here. Please don't take each other out, lads. And SFR Piastri gets a move done on defeated Damo around the... Oh, and there's a crash between the two Mercedes boys. What has happened?
Oh no.
Lads, got Wrapup right off the back. Hannafan gets the move done. Hannafan moves over. Jack Sully seems to have the better exit coming through the wall of champions. The battle's going ahead. Here we go. SFR Piastri. Andy Hannafan making the move on his teammate. The reserve 6 runs, gets the move done nicely. Down the back, really putting it to car gaming here. Lord.
Wrapup is turned
Car
around.
almost goes right up the back of...
It's unfortunate, Wrapup.
No! Defeated Damo going for a late dive down the inside, makes contact with it. Look at that. Jack Sully gets the move... Jay Rockets gets the move done on Jack Sully, who is on the 20 lap on hard. Andy Hannafan also gets the move done, but there's going to be some shoulders out battling here. And Andy Hannafan gets the move made on Jack Sully, who has had to unfortunately be wide. Turns back on. Turns back on. But he's got the move done on Car Gamer. It's a beautiful move around the outside there.
That was very close. That was very close.
So Car Gamer. Oh.
There we go.
Managed to get that apex. Gets it done. Puts him back into P1. Nicely handled by Andy Hannafan. Gets squeezed off track. Andy Hannafan almost... I mean... Oh! Jack Sully looks to take avoiding action. And now Andy Hannafan picks up the... I mean... There you go, Hannafan now gets the move done. Henchman now within 10 seconds. Target ahead, I think. Oh, who is that? That is 6 runs down DNF. That could bring... And we are back. So guys, thank you very much for checking out that clip on Sunday. I know it is probably still running because we are background and it's a bit delayed, but we'll catch up. So guys, we'll talk about Tuesday. Before we do that, was there anything in the clips that you guys saw that sort of jumped out at you a little bit there? I know there was one for me, being a Mercedes boy.
Yeah, wow. What about the mock? What about the mock? Oh, please, boys, don't touch each other. Oh no! They're around.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't believe it.
The old commentator says it's best.
It really was. It really was. And the funny thing is Blade and I spoke about that a little bit afterwards, and like a little bit during the stream, I should say. And we're both sitting there going, I wonder who was at fault for that, who touched who. Turns out Piastri spun on his own accord, and Defeated had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And just
wow, there you go.
So, you know, we're sitting there going, who's at fault? There's going to be stern talks in the post-race briefing. Yeah, and it turns out I had to go in there and go, yeah, look, hopefully you boys are okay.
Yeah.
So, yes. Now, guys, let's move on to Tuesday, shall we? So Tuesday's race in Canada started off with a wet race. Very interesting. It was only probably the first quarter of the race, and then it started to dry out pretty quickly. But in P1, we had MX Flinney, who ended up going from P17 right the way through to take the victory for Tuesday night. Then we were followed by a father and son duo on the podium. Goffey, the newly married man, congratulations to you, Goffey, in P2. And then the boy himself, little I'm a Bird, in P3. So father-son duo there. That brings us to the constructors. Sorry, go ahead.
That's got to be a first for any league. Father-son
duo
on a podium. Got to be a first.
What about Henschel and Piastri?
I don't think I've seen Henschel and Piastri on the podium together.
Yes, they have.
Oh,
where?
Yeah, in Rapid.
Oh, okay, right.
Okay.
But
There
it
you
wasn't. It wasn't together like Goffey and Birdie. It
How
was.
so?
It was 1-3, not 2-3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. But okay, it's a first for Wallaby then. So going on to the constructors, Williams are currently in P1 with quite a substantial lead. Currently sitting, I forgot to put it on my piece. So constructors, here we go. So Williams currently sitting on 102 points, followed by the McLaren boys in the papaya on 70 points, and very, very closely followed behind by the boys in red on the Alfa Romeo, or the Verone, whatever you want to call them, on 69 points. So only 1 point difference between P2 and 3 there.
I'll tell you what, if Alpha are close to the Williams at the end, I'm throwing out lollipops to take Toppy out. No, I'm only joking.
Whoa! Throwing the shade.
I only said that because I know Toppy's in the chat.
Throwing the shade.
Oh.
Now, we're going to talk about all the happenings of the everything that happened in Tuesday night's league. But guys, before we do that, was there anything to you, as the commentators, that stuck out for you guys?
100% for me.
Yeah.
I know Kirko will cover the basis. He does his little bit of homework on it about some good drives and that, like where people finished and started and whatnot. But penalties, I know it's Penn City, but mate, there was a lot of penalties there. Like they were just coming in left, right, and centre. I felt like the whole race, every 1 minute, every 30 seconds, I was saying, and this person's got a pen, and that person's got a pen. So
Tuesday night league is definitely, it seems like a tier 1 sort of setup. Everyone's pushing hard
From last season.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we do have, I guess, some tier 2 drivers in there.
The thing is,
Goffey but when we say tier 2 drivers, we've got Goffey in there. It's got a podium amongst the tier 1 drivers. So,
and I think that was one of the best recovery drives I think I've said. So,
and he literally just lapped around.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't know how he got there because I was riding his coattails the whole way, and he had to carry me across the line too. So, well done to him.
Yeah.
And as you said before, he got married yesterday, was it?
Yep.
Yesterday, big congratulations to Goffey. Great man he is. We wish you all the best, mate. But yeah, great drive for him. Just kept it on track, and I think he was nearly down a full lap at one stage.
Yeah, I think he was,
almost,
to be honest.
yes.
I think you're right.
He was almost a lap down.
Yeah,
it shows you not to give up. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Now, guys, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but on stream there, we've had Top pull into the pits, and the reason he's pulled into the pits is because he has joined us in the box tonight to talk about a few things from his race. Not just from his race, but his outside life too. We get to know Top a little bit better. Top, thank you very much for joining us. Just make sure your audio is included for us.
Yep, all done.
Excellent. Welcome, mate. Welcome. So first things first, guys, as everybody knows, Top is probably I would say one of the most consistent drivers at the moment in in Tuesday's league. Let's not talk about Canada just yet. We'll get there. But first off, Top, tell us about your mentality when you come into a race. What, like, coming into qualifying, coming into the setups, and then into the race itself.
Pretty well. I go through in the day. If I've got time, I'll do one practice race in the morning. I'll do a full distance 50%, and then I'll take a couple of hours totally away from my Xbox. I don't play anything. I'll go and do something else, and then I'll come back a few hours later, go and do my first stint of the race, and I'll do the first stint on the opposite tyre to I did my first race, so I know what the first stint feels like, and then I don't touch my Xbox until the practice session opens up.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
So
there you go.
full on practice, guys.
So you do a lot more than what I do.
and me.
And me. Get on
Jeez.
work all day.
It puts us to shame. Speaking of work, so let's go to your outside life here now.
Yeah.
Guys, do you guys have any questions for Top?
Yeah, I do.
Kirko, I know you had a few.
I've got quite a few
I
of
got
it.
one really good one for you.
All right,
Yeah.
go for it. Go for it, Blady.
All right. How is the Lego making and YouTube watching going?
Lego making and YouTube,
Oh, yeah.
and using
Oh, yeah.
YouTube.
He's just left the chat. He doesn't want to be involved.
My Lego's going pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm nearly finished the McLaren now.
Oh, shit.
So for those of you who don't know, Top has probably the most easiest working life ever. He builds Lego and watches YouTube.
And
He does other things in between that. We don't know what that is,
No.
but that's what he does.
I wait for an ambulance to maybe turn up so that I can do a 20-minute wipeout of the ambulance while I get paid $35 an hour.
I want your job, Topic. Seriously,
Oh,
that's the
absolutely.
best job ever.
I got one for you, Toppy. Since your favourite food is a chicken palmy,
Yeah,
does your wife make the best chicken palmy, or is it pub style?
pub style.
Oh, we won't tell the wife that one.
That
Then
was
will we?
very
That's
quick
right,
to
she
answer.
knows
Can
it.
she cook? Can she cook?
She can cook, it's just not palmy.
Okay.
I have got it.
Peas and gravy.
Yeah,
I've honestly got a rip snorter of a question for you, Toppy.
yeah,
Now, during the day, right?
yeah.
I just want to know what kind of electrolytes you drink and how much you drink. Because when you get on the game and you sweat so much, you've got to maintain the electrolytes.
I just drink about 3 or 4 litres of water in the day.
Yeah.
Do you pee in your own rig, or do you get up and go to the
Yeah.
toilet, or you just pee?
Yeah. I've got a tube attached.
And reiterating onto that question, when was the last time you seen the sunlight?
Oh, it's been at least 12 months.
Mate, he lives in Tassie. There is no sunlight.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right.
Even if I go
This is true.
outside, the sun isn't out.
That's
Yeah.
funny. So we'll bring it back to a few questions in regards to the race, and we might throw it back to some more funny outside questions. But to Bahrain and Spain, the 2 races that you've won back to back, were they probably some of the best races that you've had in terms of racing with Wallaby, or was there another more memorable moment for you in terms of racing with Wallaby?
I would say that those 2 were my 2 best league races, full stop.
I would agree. I've seen your league races. I would agree, 100%. And then in those races themselves, was there anything that stood out to you in about other drivers or possibly changing your strats or anything like that? Like, did you have to panic at one stage?
The only time I had to panic was Canada. But the first 2 were that they were bulk standard strats pretty well. and everything just played in my favour.
Okay.
I don't know that I had to really change anything in them. And like in Spain, I had Scotty in front of me for half the race, but I knew he had to pit, so I just sat there, and then eventually he pitted.
Well, I think I noticed in one. I think I noticed in Spain as well that you let a driver pass. I can't remember who it was, but you let somebody pass you really late into the race because they've had penalties, so it wasn't worth battling.
Yeah,
Lev.
Lev won it on track.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so you're not all about the racing; you're also about the smart tactics.
Yeah, if someone's got 6 seconds of penalties, and I know I've got the pace to keep inside that, you're better off dropping back behind them, saving your tyres, and just sitting there in the DRS for the last 5 laps of the race, whatever.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree.
Very smart driving that. Yeah, I was going to ask about Canada. When you did actually DNF, I know it's probably you don't want to hear this. It's hurting your ears already. But at any point in that, did you feel like the car was unstable, or did it just happen all of a sudden, bang, and you're like, oh no, I've stuffed up, it's over?
No, the car felt good. Like, I could feel the tyres were gone. The tyres would have been at least 80%. But I could feel the tyres were gone, but the car was still stable under me. It was just, I think I got caught up in the air, in the dirty air with Mad Dog, and then I had nothing. And I was trying to defend Mad Dog too. So because I was defending him, I was off the racing line, and that just took the car.
Yeah, true.
He was very quick around there too. So him behind you would have been stressing you out.
Yeah, Mad Dog, he can be very aggressive, Mad Dog, as well, his racing style.
Yeah, Scotty did a really good job at holding him up for a while, but as soon as he was past, there was no way that I was holding him up on those tyres.
No. Well, guys, do you have any other questions for Toppy before we say our goodbyes?
Can't say that I do.
No.
Okay,
I've got a couple, but they're only funny ones.
go for it. No, go for it then. That's what I want. Funny ones. Let's bring it.
Ah, okay. Well, the first one is honestly, because I live in central Queensland. What's the weather like down there in Tasmania?
Well,
like,
today it's been pissing
because you guys
down
grow
all
like
day.
a second head and stuff like that, so I'm not sure.
Well, look, I grew up in Queensland, so I skipped that.
Oh,
Yeah,
you skip the second head?
Oh, so
Yeah.
you grew up in Queensland, so you actually had a second head
Yeah.
to start off with. Oh,
Okay.
see?
All right.
Hey.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So yeah.
So it's been raining there all day.
Yeah, it's been raining here all day. It's been cloudy and horrible for ages. It's just winter, but it hasn't rained much this winter, which is a pain.
But that's beautiful Lego building weather, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
So in your driver profile, you said you hate Monaco. Do you still hate Monaco?
Yeah.
You're not ready? So you're not ready for it?
So quick.
You want it what?
I'm just
that was
hoping
so
that
quick.
I'm just hoping that if I stay out of a wall, I'll get points.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look,
I'm
fair
not going
thought.
for the
I think
that's
that's going to be a
week.
lot of people's mentality.
Yeah,
I think that's going to
yeah,
be so many people's mentality.
Definitely.
Okay.
Like I've joked about that. If I am out in front, I'm just gonna drive around like Ricardo in 2018, and no one's gonna be able to pass me because it's Monaco and we shouldn't be racing here anymore.
Yeah.
So is that your stance? I know. I mean, me personally, I know your stance on Monaco. I know my stance on Monaco in real life. Me personally, Monaco needs to go. It's just not a track that's enjoyable to watch.
So boring.
What about
to
you?
watch.
Yeah, it is pretty boring. I stayed
Yeah.
up to watch it this year, and I wasn't that happy with it. Especially it was
I
raining.
regretted my
raining,
decision.
and I'm like, ah.
That's why I didn't.
Yeah.
I watched like the first 20 laps. I'm like, this is what off.
A track you
Yeah.
can run around on a set of hards all day with safety cars or not, and still stay out in the lead. That's boring.
I don't
Yeah,
think it's enjoyable to watch in real life, and I don't find it enjoyable to drive in the game.
Yeah, I feel the same as you, mate. It's generally like with tracks like this, like I know a lot of people hate them, and when
Yeah.
a lot of people hate these tracks, I'm like, oh, this is in my favour. Like they hate them, I hate them, but I might have a chance because they hate them. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
exactly.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
does.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Lap
This
around and
Tuesday,
do nothing.
I'm just gonna try and keep my nose clean. I'll drive around at a speed I'm comfortable and not gonna hit a wall, and that's about it.
Yep.
No, that's fair.
I feel like we're gonna spend over half the race under safety car.
For
Yes.
sure.
Well, look, on that, we are going to be running
Reduced.
reduced safety car.
We're
So-
still gonna spend it under VSC.
We're still. Yes, we will. Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that, I guess. And I know, actually, Kirko brought up a question in our live briefing. Kirko brought up a question that actually intrigued a lot of us about your gamer tag. Kirko, do you want to
Yeah, I was.
fire away with that one?
I was actually going to say, how did you come up with your gamer tag? How did you come up with it?
Well, I wanted it to be just top by itself, but
Too
I
short?
come up with top because it was Top Racing Life to start with, which I've had since I was about 12.
Yeah, well, let's go back to that because
How
everyone.
do you come up with Top Life
Racing?
Racing like actually 12?
That's what I'm saying.
Um,
Like,
I
How'd you come up with it?
I used to always like racing games, so I used to always play Need for Speed, all of that. I wasn't even playing F1 yet. And I decided that I didn't want my name because it was some stupid Xbox name they'd auto-generated. So I just made it Top Racing Life, and then I held that for ages, and then the thing happened. And then I had to change it again, and I couldn't have just top by itself.
you can always have WRL top. Just so.
If you there is a few leagues that are trying to convince me to change it.
You don't have to do it if you
Hey,
don't want to,
yeah,
mate.
Yeah, that's right. You don't need to do it here. But
Yeah.
Bloody, what was I going to say? I do have one question, Duck. If I can,
Yeah.
just interrupt. You're in practice now, right, in Monaco?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see Accelerator on the hards in it and the time he put up?
I did.
Do you feel like he's
And-
quick here, or do you feel like
I think he's got pole position wrapped up here.
Yeah.
I
But
don't think
whether,
he's
whether
just-
he'll make
It's
it
just
through
his
the
in
race.
race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
it comes
he-
down to that
he won't-
consistency again, obviously.
I'll put it out there now. He will not make it through the race, and he will not make pole because Accelerator actually has a race ban for Monaco.
Oh,
He
Certainly
does.
does.
So Accelerator reset to track in Canada,
Canada.
and everybody knows that is one of the biggest no-nos in league racing.
Yeah.
And it does follow with a race disqualification. As he posted a DNF, unfortunately, he follows the next race with a race ban. So he's not going to get pole. He's not going to get
You're not
to
gonna
finish
get
the
anything.
race because he's not going to get to start. So,
Oh.
and it's a shame, but now he
Mm-hmm.
knows. He knows now that it is a blanket rule and it will not be tolerated. So,
We're going to start with 19 people.
yep,
Okay.
we certainly are.
Well,
I reckon we'll have less
that
than
sort of
season
ruined a
one.
little topic for later, didn't it?
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just thinking hopefully 19 show up since it's
Well,
Monaco.
we've got some reserves ready to go that I know of, so
The
I
Dark
think we
King
should
from
be
Monaco.
okay. Oh, look, I haven't told him where we're racing, so that's the next issue. That's a tomorrow me issue.
Yeah.
Although,
Anyways.
if you think about it, if they really wanted to know, they could just check the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
that's true.
Not hard.
So,
Yeah,
look,
but you could be lazy like me and just say, "Hey, Duck, where are we racing?" in Gen Chat.
Yeah.
We all.
I think everybody in Wallaby knows how much it irks me when people ask a question that they know the answer to, or that's been said 1,000
Or
times.
they can
Everybody
find
knows.
themselves.
Yes.
Where are
Guys,
we?
we might.
where are we racing
we
on
might
Sunday?
wrap it up with.
What time's lobby
We
open?
might wrap it up with Toppy there. Top,
I'm just
feel
here to
free to
help.
stick around with us in chat, mate, if you would like.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you want to leave, you're more than welcome to. But guys, we're going to move on to some topics about Tuesday's race itself. I know we've already touched base on a few things in terms of the penalties, in terms of the driving standards from Sunday, but we're going to get into some of the more interesting driving issues that we saw. So first things first. Scotty Mack, Mad Dog, the rivalry continues as we've seen. We saw it in Bahrain where it started. We saw it in Spain where it continued, where Mad Dog got it over the top of Scotty Mack for Spain. And then we saw it again here in Canada, where Scotty Mack was on track for a podium. And unfortunately was spun, causing Mad Dog to actually lose his podium because of that incident. He ended up getting a 10-second time penalty, and he got another 5-second time penalty. So 15 seconds worth of time pens ended up dropping him right down to P10, I believe he finished. P9.
That's a shame
P9
too
he
for
finished.
that. The 2.5 laps that the battle went for, it was incredible.
And it was clean.
Yeah, like,
It was some clean racing.
and I know with both of them, I don't think there's no malice in it. Like, they're just both racing aggressive. They're both racing hard. They both want to beat each other, and it's great to watch.
Absolutely, and like I said, this is where that rivalry comes into it, because they call each other out in chat, sometimes a little bit too far, but the actual driving standards between the two of them can be very clean. And I've spoken to Mad Dog and I've spoken to Scotty Mack about everything that's been going on, but Mad Dog, he gets very pushy because he's frustrated that Scotty Mack in front of him is very good at defending, and he gets frustrated that he can't get past, which is a massive call to Scotty Mack's defending.
Yeah.
And his driving standards. I mean, I've raced with Scotty before many, many times. I still race with him. I mean, I race Tuesdays with him. I've had him as a teammate, and his driving, his defensive maneuvers and everything are so up there with some of the greatest drivers that I've driven with.
Look at Scotty Mack in Spain against me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, bingo. Spain, he held you up for how many laps did he hold you up for?
Oh, it would have been
5
12
or 6.
13 laps.
Oh,
Easy.
full on,
okay.
12, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you get to see that kind of stuff, Duck, because I'm usually half a lap behind him whenever I've raced with him, so I don't get to see.
At least you're only half a lap. I'm like, do I even bother finishing?
No, we race with you. We race with you, Kirko, many times. We just drive through you to continue our race.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I get messages going, just go spectator mode. Just go spectator mode, Kirko. You use.
No. So yeah, look, with those two, I think we are going to continue to see some rivalry between them. I know that, from what I believe, two of them have spoken. Both of them have spoken to each other and tried to squash a few things, which is excellent to see, and it's exactly what Wallaby is about. We want a clean league, a friendly league where these things aren't happening. So it's very good to see that those two have attempted to work things out, and it makes me a happy admin. I'm sure it makes Kirko a happy owner, and I'm sure it makes Henchman a happy admin as well. So
well, just
keep that up.
Well, adding to that, I'd like to add to that as well.
Yeah.
When people
Stop bringing me into it, will you?
when people actually put reports in, I mean, don't get like. like defensive over it. Like it's just a report. Like we're playing a video game, right? Like so, at the end of the day, we're all here to have fun. Like I understand some things happen, and like you know, but I don't think half of it's intentional. You know, some people race hard and then like they make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. But what I'm trying to say is like, there's
No
no
one
need
break
to.
checks anybody.
Yeah, there's no need to get angry with anyone. Like that's what we sort of want to build here. Like just, you know, a friendly league.
Yeah,
Bit of banter
relax, have
between each
fun.
other. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Throw some shit talk. At the end of the day, have fun.
Yeah. I don't mind
to beat
banter.
that out.
Yeah, banter's
Right.
good, man.
Yeah.
But you know, like
Banter is needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
otherwise the league is going to get just extremely boring.
boring.
Stay
Yeah,
out.
Exactly.
Banter is 100% needed. So yeah. Now let's move on again. We're going to talk about another issue.
Can I bring
on
up?
track.
Can I bring up something?
Yeah.
Before we disappear, we'll bring up something else. I'd like to bring up your incident with Lev.
That's exactly where I was going. So I'm glad you brought it up.
Sorry, mate.
Go ahead, mate. No.
Sorry,
Go
mate.
ahead. Bring it up. Cause I'll stay. I might stay as a partial to this as being one of the drivers.
Okay, a lot of people.
Sit in the corner,
obviously-
duck. You be a good boy.
Okay, people on stream. Yes, Lev was removed from our league because he would not stop hassling our admins, I guess, after the Stewart's report was put in. But everyone could see Lev moving further right, and he had 2 car widths even more to the left-hand side to give more of a gap. Ended up making collision with Duck on the right-hand side, right next to the wall. The Stewards made their report, and then once the Stewards report come through, the appeal come through, that come through again against Lev, and he would not stop texting the admin. All I ask you guys is not to text the admin or DM the admin, whatever you guys call it. The Stewards make their decision, live with it.
There's an
That's
appeals
it.
team as well. So if
Exactly.
you feel like you're hard done by,
Exactly.
put it into the appeals, and if it
Exactly.
gets squashed, it gets squashed. Like, and that's
Exactly.
why I was saying before, is in like, let's not, you know, look into it too far. Like we're all having fun, and that's what it's about. That's what we want to do. Have some fun.
I just want to say, but when it comes to the Stewards' decisions, they don't race in that that night, and the appeals team doesn't race in that night either. So it's not, they're not going against you because they race.
I mean, we can ask one of the appeals teams here. One of the appeals members is here.
Yeah.
So Toppy is actually an appeals member for Sunday Night's League.
There you go.
So because Top races on Tuesday nights, he's an appeals team member for Sundays. So he's already actually, both himself and Scotty Mack are appeals for Sundays, and both of them have actually already dealt with one appeal. I think in a very efficient manner. There was a lot of teamwork involved, and there was no what's the word? There was no favoritism or anything like that behind it. Admins don't step in on these, and I've said this to the appeals team as well, is that the appeals team's decision is final, and admins will not be stepping in. If they say if they say the penalty is reversed, admins can't go, no, we don't agree with that. We're going to reverse it.
Nope.
It's not going to happen. If that's what they think, then that's the decision.
That's the way we go.
And can I say as well, in real life, in leagues, it's both the same. The Stewards and appeals teams are not the most liked people in the paddock.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, I like them.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But Toppy, I love you.
Hench actually messaged me the other
Put my
day about
appeals
it.
through.
Hench was putting out all the or the steward's decisions. And Hench messaged me and he goes, man, Mad Dog is going to hate me. And all I said was, mate, welcome to league racing, welcome to being an admin. You are not going to make friends. You're gonna have people that don't like you. And believe me, I've already had it happen. I had it when I was admin first time round. I know that I had people that just did not like me, and that's fine. Didn't care. I'm here to make the league enjoyable. I'm here to also uphold rules.
You're doing what you were
How do you think I feel?
Yep.
Oh, no,
look,
trust me,
let's talk about the
No
actual
one likes
incident.
me.
Yeah, look, I love you, but let's talk about the actual incident at hand itself. So, the one with myself and Lev on the outside of turns 5 and 6, or 6 and 7, I believe it was.
7 and 8.
7 and 8. Sorry, thank you. Yep. Now, Top's seen the footage. Being one of the appeals team members, I believe he would have had access to the steward's decisions and had a look. The stewards. Yeah, incident reports and the steward's decisions to have a look at the footage. He obviously didn't have a say in that because he's a Tuesday driver, but he's still allowed to look at them. But Top, from an outside perspective, so being a racer on track, but also being a member of those teams, what was your initial thought looking at that?
My initial thought was that Lev had plenty of room up against that wall, and his excuse of
on the left hand side.
What he said about how he said he had to come across. You can run up against that wall all the way till the corner.
Yeah.
You can run up. You can run side by side at Canada until the hairpin.
Yep. And then you can also do a switchback. If you're running side by side, you can back out and just put a switchback in on Canada there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know me personally, like being the driver involved, I know that he was further up, like in front of me, but I was still halfway up. Going along a straight, I do not need to back out of that.
No.
Coming into the corner, me being halfway behind, I would have backed out myself because someone's had a few drinky poos tonight. But going into following into the following corner, being that far behind him, because he did have the speed, he definitely had the speed on me, I would have backed out on that corner. So I think a driver like Lev himself, he is a good driver, but he makes very, very dangerous decisions and more often than not will cause an incident. I think if he'd have really thought about it, he just needed to stay straight. Yeah, and the like Top said, I think the excuse of I had to move right, I think that was the killer for him in the steward's decisions, because he actually stated, I didn't get hit until I turned right. Well, of course you're going to get hit when you turn right, because you turned into me. Yeah. So look, it is unfortunate.
That is what killed him. It totally is. It is saying, I did this.
Yeah.
And the other thing he said is, he was following the racing
admission.
Yeah, admission of guilt.
Yeah.
He was following the racing line. You don't have to follow the racing line if you've got a car next to you.
No.
You give the car next to you space.
Yeah.
Generally, you don't overtake on the racing line. If everyone just follows the racing line, we'd never have an overtake.
That's it.
I know you're sort of talking about that one in particular incident. Let's go back to Mad Dog and Scotty, and Mad.
Oh yeah.
He's
I forgot about that one.
He's won the race, right? Now, and it was good, but he's obviously got those penalties. But he's just taken them on the chin and just going, well, yep, rightio, I've done this, and the stewards have found me guilty, and nothing, nothing said.
He may not have liked them. He may not have liked those decisions.
No one likes a penalty.
Exactly like you said.
He accepted the decision.
Exactly. Yeah. We had the likes of
Accelerator did the same thing. Accelerator did the same thing. He questioned it, and then someone put, "You can't reset the track," and he went, "Okay."
Yeah. Driver did the same thing. Driver admittedly he put in an appeal. The appeals team didn't overturn it, and he went, "Okay."
Yeah.
No one, and like Top said, nobody likes a penalty against you, but he took it on the chin, and he ran with it, and it's a lesson learnt for next time.
That's right.
Absolutely, and you know what? I also say this to people that have clips, and I know the stewards are probably not going to lie me for this, but if you've got clips and you feel like you've been, unfairly done by, like just put it in, because at the end of the day, people aren't going to learn to fix the issue if they don't get a report put on them, if that makes sense. Like, so even if it's little, at least they're aware, because I'm massive on it. If I've done something wrong, because sometimes I don't even realise I've done something wrong, put it in on me, and then I'll learn from it myself. Like,
I'm 100%. I'm 100% too, man.
Yeah, McNeil put one in. McNeil put one in against me, and I got penalised for it. I went, "Yep, that was all me." I put my hand up before I even got the pen. I went, "Yeah, that was all me. I know what I did. I stuffed up." But there's in terms of what Gumbo's just said about putting in a penalty, even if you think that, is this or isn't it, put it in anyway. What's the worst that's going to happen? It's a no further. It's a no further action.
It's a yes or no. That's all it is.
So be it.
I caught two of
Yes or
those.
no.
Can I say something? Can I go back to practice for a second and talk about?
Yeah.
So I know most people, and I did last season. I always opened up a online practice session, but now I've started going to Grand Prix mode and actually turning the AI to like 10%, turning off collisions, and then you've got the track, the way it's going to feel in the race with all the rubber down. You're not going to have the AI in the way because you're going to drive through them, and practice in Grand Prix mode with the AI on 0.
Yeah.
Because the track feels completely different in a practice session.
Yeah, exactly. Time trials, if anyone doesn't know this, I'll just say it for people that, might not be aware of it. But in time trials, everything's perfect. Like, so your tyres are perfect. Everything's perfect. That doesn't suit the track conditions. Like, that doesn't suit how much tyre loss you're going to get, and certain situations on the track where things happen, where if you do go into GP mode, like Top has said, you'll get used to it a bit more. Like, it's obviously, I think it's the way to go. Like, people that, I tend to find people that just sweat TT mode, they struggle in races, and they're the ones that might spin a lot and all that kind of stuff. So.
And you can race against the AI if you want, but I find the AI aren't useful to race against if you're practicing for league racing.
Yeah.
Because they'll either step out of the way or they'll just do stupid stuff. So
like punt you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're better off turning off collisions and just turning them right down, and then just lapping them over and over again, but you'll have the track where it needs to be.
Yeah. So, look, there we go. Everybody listening in chat, from the leader himself, his tips and tricks on how to improve your driving.
I'm not the leader. No, I'm joking.
No. And I'll get yours shortly. I'll get your tips and tricks shortly of what not to do.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely didn't practice driving from lap 5 of the race to the end on mediums in Canada.
That was a very ballsy move. I've just got to throw that out there. Like,
it was.
To think that you're going to get the whole way without a puncture. Like, obviously, when you're getting to 80%, you're thinking, "Oh, I'm in puncture territory." Like, but you were committed. You were going to go the whole way with them. Until you
I was hoping for a safety car, but
you got one.
I didn't get a safety car. I was going to go to the end.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, we might leave it there. I think we're almost about to end the practice session. We've got 29 seconds left in the practice session, but what we might do, we might play the Tuesday clips. Guys, have a look in there. You will see a little bit of the footage from Lev and my crash. You will definitely see footage from Scotty Mac and Mad Dog's crash. And Driver 48, if you are in the chat still, keep your ear out for a little Gumbo Kebabs, what I'm going to call commentator call of the week, because it was a blinder, and definitely keep your ear out for that one.
Not the full race, just the start, according to Goffy. So,
Why am I'm in a car here. What is going on?
we're away, ladies and gentlemen.
There it is.
Driver 48 has also picked up 6th position and bumped himself right up to 12. We've just had a spin with a Haas.
My bad, mate.
Wrapup McNeil is slightly up through sector 3. Oh no, there's been contact!
Oh.
Wrapup McNeil has made contact with a Williams. Let's see who the Williams was.
It's Toffee, mate. It's Toffee. He gets a
Toffee!
5 good straight to Glennon. Oh,
Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Are you okay? That was a nasty hit.
Okay, we go
Knoxville
green again, ladies and gentlemen.
Knoxville.
Knoxville. He's had a shocker here. He's had to leave the space. Oh, slight contact.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
no!
Lots has happened tonight, and unfortunately we've missed half of it. But
Oh, we've just had a spin. Chasey has lost it and then got tagged, which made it.
18 seconds.
as Matt Dog really clings on the back of Knoxville here, if you want to check that out.
Oh, the Haas. Oh no,
Oh, he
there's
sent
slight
it.
contact.
Oh, Scotty's just
Oh
lost
no.
it. Scotty has lost it. Wow.
Oh, has he gone to softs? Oh, yes,
He's
so
got,
yep.
he's got to drive.
It's got to drive through.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Driver 48 has just gone into P2. Knoxville into P3.
Mate, with the penalties he's got, he's just gone into P14 behind Hobbsy Money, who's about 20 laps down. Mate, he'll be kicking himself. He will be
I'll
kicking
bring up-
himself.
Oh, has he gone to softs? Oh, yes,
He's
so
got,
yep.
he's got to drive.
It's got to drive through.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Driver 48 has just gone into P2. Knoxville into P3.
Mate, with the penalties he's got, he's just gone into P14 behind Hobbsy Money, who's about 20 laps down. Mate, he'll be kicking himself. He will be
I'll
kicking
bring up-
himself. Yeah, no worries, mate. Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
Go fill out your incident report, mate, and get that
I've
sorted.
got a few, so don't worry, they'll be coming.
All right, mate.
All right, take it easy.
See you, mate. All right, so I'll just...
All right, and we are back. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us tonight with that clip. Driver, did you hear that little call in there about your time penalties from Gumbo there? That's the one that we call commentator's call of the week, because it was a ripper, not going to lie. Now, obviously, guys, we are here in Monaco next week, so we go back here in 2 nights' time on Sunday for the Sunday League, and that will be joined by myself. Blade, you're not there this week, are you?
No, I'm not here this week.
Yeah, okay, so it'll be joined by myself and possibly my new co-commentator for the nights that Blade isn't here. I'm still yet to find out his actual answer.
If
but
not,
I
I'll
think
come
he's
comment.
alluding.
I'll come commentate.
There you
with
go. Toppy will come and to commentate with me if the other person can't. So yeah, and I'll be glad to have you, obviously. We do have a clip that that I'm going to play here. This is just a clip from Andy H. It's sort of a hot lap around Monaco, so you guys can have a quick look at. You can have a quick look at it. You guys decide, oh, do I want to be trying this sort of line? Do I want to try and copy the way he gears into corners or gears out of corners? Because after watching it myself, there's so much stuff that he does with absolute finesse.
Yes,
And
definitely.
the way he drops gears and then he upshifts early, or even downshifts in the middle of a corner, to make sure that he's got that speed flowing through, is just so different to the way I do it. And obviously it works for him because he's got, I think it's a 110.4 around Monaco, whereas I did a practice session last night. I could only pull like 113s.
Lucky
they were
you.
just, oh dude, I'm sitting there going, what is happening?
I did a 14.
But guys, I'm
I
going to
did
play
a
that
14
clip.
under. I validate. I think I did a 14
There you go.
unvalidated. It's like, yeah,
So
whatever.
guys, there we go. So we're going to end it there. We're going to end it at the end of this clip, so you won't hear our lovely voices again. But enjoy the clip. Enjoy your nights. Enjoy your weekend. We will see you guys Sunday night at 7:30 for lobby opening, and we'll see the viewers at 8 o'clock on track for qualifying and the race with myself. And yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Was that the one thing?
That it?
Go for it.
We didn't hear anything. Oh. Oh.
Oh.
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that. Look, let's go Sunday. So Sunday, let's all put our things out for Sunday. Sunday for me, I mean, it's very hard to go past Andy H.
Andy H.
So yeah, I'm going to go Andy H for the win. Well, yeah, so I know that we've got one driver who isn't available to race this week. Oh, sorry, two drivers, actually. Two drivers who aren't available to race this week. And I'm thinking about putting those drivers into the seats to give Andy a bit of fun around track. However, I know Andy is a bit worried about it because, why wouldn't you be? But, look, we've got to do it. So... yeah, but I still think you can't go past Andy H for the win. I think his sheer love for this track, you may as well call it his home track. The sheer love that he has for this track is just second to none. In second place, I'm going to keep reserves out of it just for the time being. I would say... I'd probably say Daff. Oh no, he's a reserve. I would say Pajala.
I was going to say Pajala.
Pajala could be up there.
I'd say
Pajala. I know he's got a fairly decent time.
And then
I'm going to throw a wild card in there, and I'm going to throw...
Don't you dare do it.
I'm going to throw... No, I don't know who to throw in there. Maybe Jack Sully. Yeah, Jack Sully.
You've got Pinju, don't you?
No.
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 Okay. You good? Yeah. Okay. What about you, Blade, Kirko, Top? What about your guys' predictions?
Oh, jeez.
I reckon Car Game will be there somewhere.
I think Andy H. I think Andy H. Obviously. And then I'm gonna go probably Zhao 2, Henchman 3.
Okay. Oh, Henchman's not racing.
Oh, he's not racing. Okay, he's busy, is he?
Yeah, he's making cupcakes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the cupcakes. I better get a cupcake out of that.
Okay. And what about yourself, Top?
I'm thinking Andy H, Car Gamer, and probably J Rocket.
J Rocket is actually a good one to put up there, I think, as well.
Yeah, he's pretty quick, isn't he?
He is. It's just got to watch his pens.
Yeah,
That's all it is. And
Gonna
then
come
I
down
think
to-
for Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesdays.
What about Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesdays.
Look, I'm gonna put top up there. I'm gonna put accelerator up there.
He's got to be.
Accelerator's not there.
Oh yeah, yep. Good point, guys.
Accelerate
Because even
can't-
I mentioned that
yep.
before. So.
Yep.
All right. So let's put me up there.
Just
Top up there.
settle down. Calm down.
You in the bin,
Calm
mate.
down. Calm
You
down.
I'm going to
in
put
the
myself up
bin.
there.
Top five, maybe.
I will be in the bin.
Top five,
I'm going to
maybe,
put Scotty
but
Mack.
calm
I'm
down.
going to put Scotty Mack up there as well. So those three, me, Top, and Scotty. That's my top three.
I'm gonna say Toppy, Scotty, and then I'm. Oh, God. Consistency. Hens, crashes. I'm gonna say Goffey again. If he can race.
Okay.
If he can.
And Top.
Yeah.
What about you for Tuesday?
I'm going
You can say
Myself?
yourself. Yeah. You can say yourself.
myself, Scotty, and we'll go. I can't go henchman.
Because he doesn't race on
Who
Tuesdays.
else is usually up there?
Duck puncher.
No,
Yeah.
Duck Puncher's never up there. He stuffs his strategies.
Driver
If-
48.
If
Yeah.
Duck
He
can
should
quit his
actually
day
make it
job.
through the race and not make because strategy, you just one stop it.
Yeah.
Go to hards at the first safety car, stay out for the rest of the race.
Are you gonna say duck?
Yeah, go Duck.
Oh, duck for P3.
If he nails the strategy of go to hards lap 1.
I am taking.
Now I know the strategy, so I will do that.
I am
Because
taking
that's when the
notes
first safety
right
car's
now.
going to be.
I am writing this down.
Well, Driver seems to think it's going to be Driver 48 and Top fighting in Monaco on Tuesday.
We've also got the battle of the track guides. Driver 48 has track guides.
Does he?
What?
Yeah, he said
do you mean?
he's got track guides on YouTube. So battle of the track guides between War Machine and Driver 48.
Oh, this is
Generally.
something I have to check out.
Okay.
I haven't seen one from
Right.
War Machine yet.
I don't. I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of track guides. I
No,
think-
neither am I.
Yeah. But look, let's show that clip of Andy H, and we'll leave it there. So everybody in chat and everybody that's going to watch this later, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for spending the time with us. We really appreciate it. I know that these Friday nights are a little long, but we sort of get into our discussions, and they're good fun. And we hope to keep this going. But that's the end of our nights. And like I said, enjoy your weekends. Enjoy everything. We'll see you all on track Sunday. And for the drivers on Tuesday, we'll see you guys on track too. So have a good night. I'll show that clip now, and then that'll be it.